Hi everyone, I'm Ivan and welcome to our podcast where you and me will be talking about life. We'll be making ripples with words, and for our first episode, we have the very talented Uriel Villar to share with
Oh,
her,
wow.
well, you are, to share with us her experience with a flavor of life. And for our topic, it would be being. Hi Uriel!
Hi, Ivan. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for accepting the invitation. And
Of course, of course. I love talking about, life and, everyone's journey, like what everyone's going through, the
exactly.
flavors of life, as you say. It's always
Yes.
interesting, to be able to hear different perspectives and other people's insights. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you. And we're here to hear your insights. How does Uriel keep peace?
Oh gosh, that's such a
How do
I
you
don't
be at peace? How
because
do you continuously be at peace? How do you
well
do
I
that?
I find that peace is really something that starts from within. But actually, lately, I'm coming to realize that it's also something that it's a conscious choice that you have to make. Something
Wow.
that you have to actively, consciously pursue, in a sense.
Wow.
Every day just waking up and choosing to be at peace. But I know that it's something. One of the things I also realized is that it's also something easier said than done because there are a lot of other factors and circumstances in life that you need to consider before you actually get to the point where you fully convince yourself that you are at peace. And I think it really stems from just knowing who you really are, what kind of person you are, what kind of person you want to be, what your intentions are, what it is that you want to pursue, what you want to achieve, the kind of people you want to be surrounded with, the kind of person you want to be towards other people. So it's a lot
Yeah.
of stuff to consider and really a lot to take in before you really get to the point where you finally really fully convince yourself that you are at peace. And don't get me wrong, there are days
Yeah.
when I still feel like, you know, the world is against me, or it's hard to just get up from bed, or it's not always a roller coaster ride that just goes up.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
There are some days then that you feel kind of, you know
There will be bad
frustrated,
days.
or yeah, exactly. So yeah, but I think, that's, like I said, that's what I realized lately. It really is a conscious choice that you
It's
have to
more of a
make.
conscious choice. It's basing on what you're saying. It's more of a journey inwards.
Yes,
But
yes.
before we get into that journey, what do we mean by peace, ba? What are we trying to say when we're at peace? What exactly are we trying to achieve when we say I want to be at peace?
Well, I think, well, personally, for me, I think being at peace basically just means being contented and being satisfied where you are, with who you are, and with what you have.
That's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And I think, but yeah, going back, I think it really, but I think it depends. Then it depends on the person. It depends on you. Really finding what is essential for you. What matters to you. So it's really
Hence the
important.
journey inwards.
Exactly. You really
So
need to know
let's
to.
expound on that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um.
go.
No, but yeah, as I was saying, I think it's really about getting to know yourself and finding out what it is that really matters for you, what is essential for you. And once you've realized that what you want or what you've always been trying to achieve is actually something that's already in front of you, or something you've always been surrounded with, or something that you've always had, then that's when
Wow.
you finally start being at peace, because then you stop searching or yearning for more, because you realize that you actually already have what you want, and sometimes you even realize you have more than what you want or more than what you deserve. So yeah.
So it's realizing and accepting that you're there. Na it has always been there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In a sense, that's
And it
that's 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 one way of putting it. Yes, because I think it's also about your perspective, seeing things, or choosing to see sort of like your blessings. I guess that's
okay. Okay.
that's what resonates with some people. Like, um,
Yeah.
it's noticing the things that you already have and being more appreciative of what you have and where you are. Yeah.
So it's being grateful.
Basically, yes. That's actually, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Being grateful, yes.
Don't you just find it interesting that, like what you said, sometimes it's right in front of you. How is it that we take it for granted?
Uh, I I think it's I think it just stems from basic human nature. That as human beings, I don't know if you've heard of that saying before. That as human
Yeah.
beings, we're never really satisfied. We always want more. We're
Yeah.
always looking for better ways, innovative ways of things. Even when you're already given with, like, let's say, an upgrade, you're always going to want to look for, like, even an even better upgrade. I think it's
Yeah.
just it's basic human nature. Like, a part of us
Yeah.
is never really completely satisfied. We're always going to work towards improvement, or something bigger, something better, which isn't necessarily always wrong or negative. I guess it really depends on how you exhibit it,
Perceive it.
or yeah, how you perceive it.
Exhibit it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
So it's being. Yeah. Yeah. Go. Go.
yeah, but given that, like I said, I guess it also is about a shift in perspective. So learning to
Wow.
accept the things as they are, and even learning to, accept the things that are beyond your control, and just focusing on what you have right now. Like, yeah,
Mm.
basically, I don't know, like, what, when some people say appreciating being in the present moment or being in the moment.
Yeah.
So if this is what you have right now, these are the circumstances that you're presented with, these are the resources that you're given, then it's really up to you how you perceive them. If you were going to make the most out of them, if you are going to appreciate them for what they are at that point, or are you going to feel unsatisfied and say, oh, this isn't enough, I want more. So
Yeah.
yeah, it really depends on you and how you perceive things.
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I get what you're saying. So being at peace is being in that moment where you have all this stuff. It can be less, it could be
Mm-mm.
more. But being at peace is accepting that you might want more or you might want less, but you're at peace with what you have right now.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes, that's actually a really good way to. That's a really nice way of putting it. Yes, exactly.
It's You're okay with what you have now.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it,
Mm-hmm.
but it wouldn't hurt it if you had more or if you wanted less.
Yeah.
But being at peace is you're okay right now.
Exactly. Exactly. Being okay where you are
Yeah.
right now with what you have, but also acknowledging that, I may want to move forward and yearn for something better, work towards something better or bigger. But right now, since this is where I am and this is what I have, I will learn to appreciate it. I will learn to be grateful for it. And I think that's a huge foundation of peace. Basically, where you
Yeah.
can find peace and contentment, you know.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So, being at peace, we kind of defined it already. What are the external factors that you think is preventing a person from being at peace besides greediness or being
Mm.
unsatisfied? Do you think the external factors are pretty much, very much affecting a person's peace
Yes.
more than a person is aware of?
Well, I do believe that, everything is connected. So in one way or another, we all influence each other in a sense. Um, what we give and take the same amount. So what you give out is what you receive as well. But
That's
I
beautiful.
think it's also important to acknowledge that you are responsible for your own peace. So it's up to you to be able to filter these external factors. Like, how much of these external factors are you actually going to allow to affect you? Because
Wow.
sometimes these
Wow.
external factors can actually be positive stimuli for us. Stimuli.
Yeah,
Anyway, yeah, but these are
we
these
get the
are
point.
these are things that can influence us in a positive way. There are external factors that can influence us in a negative way. But since, like I said, we are responsible for our own peace, so it's up to us to be able to identify which of these factors we are actually going to allow to influence us. It could
Yes.
be, this a friend or a certain situation, a certain child, or actually, you know what? Even some things that we can find as limiting aren't necessarily external. Sometimes these are things that we bring upon ourselves, and I think that's an even
Wow.
harder limitation or a harder hurdle to overcome when it's something that
The self.
exactly as opposed to external factors, you know.
External factors are much easier to point out
Mm-hmm.
than when you have something that you yourself is trying not to look at. No?
Exactly, and
Yeah?
because if you think about it, external factors are actually, you can actually distance yourself from these things. You can basically just avoid these
Wow.
things, avoid that person, avoid that situation, avoid that thing or that object, or cut it
Avoid
off,
that trigger.
or yes, exactly. But when it's something that is innate, or it's something that comes from within, I think that's an even harder, like I said, like a harder challenge or a harder hurdle to overcome.
Wow. So, what would you suggest to make that person realize or accept that situation or face that situation?
Are we talking about the internal factors, or
Yeah, the internal one.
well, I can't speak for everyone, but
In regard, of course, the journey to the self.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess, well, this is just me, but I don't know if it'll help or if it'll resonate with others. But I find that I'm the kind of person that when I'm filled with all of this negative energy, or yeah, I I refuse to let it out negatively as well. Like when I'm faced with a certain situation that makes me feel very, very negative or really heavy, and it's something that weighs on me like a burden, I refuse to release it to the universe as is. And so I find ways to transform that negative energy into positive energy. And I
Okay.
guess for me, one of the ways that I do that is by working out. So I
Okay.
exercise. I talk to friends, people who know me very well, just to let out what it is that I'm feeling, but not necessarily to add to the negativity that I already am feeling. So it's more of like looking for an
Yes.
outlet. Um, I
Yes.
try to channel that energy into something creative. So really, it's turning this weight into, creative energy, and turning it into something beautiful instead. Whether it be a
Wow.
painting or a drawing, or if I just feel like singing, I would, or I don't know, dancing in my room, stuff like that. So it really is. It's. I
Yeah.
mean, I know it's really important that when we're filled with all of these, thoughts
Yeah.
or these limitations that fill our head, it's so easy to get lost in them. It's so easy to be consumed by them. And I think
Yes.
that as well deserves your conscious decision or a conscious effort for you to really beat it. Not necessarily in a way
Wow.
that you would invalidate it or shove it aside. No, when you feel these things, you allow yourself to feel them. You allow yourself to go through them, because that's the only way you grow. But you don't let them
Wow.
consume you. You let them pass through, you acknowledge them,
Wow.
and then you let them go.
Wow. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Acknowledge it, let it pass through. I think the best way to put it is when in when a person is in this situation, have a moment with
Exactly.
yourself. Yeah?
Exactly.
Have a moment with yourself. And I love with what you said of transforming the energy into something else, something creative or whatever
Something that
they would
will
like.
something that'll
That's beautiful.
be good for you, something that will help you be a better person. Like for me, I honestly never thought I would be the type of person who would be going to the gym or working out, but lo and behold, I actually really enjoyed it, and I've made so many good friends. So yeah, I think
It's
it
nice.
really,
Very good friend.
like what we were talking about earlier. It still really stems from knowing yourself or getting to know yourself, and what kind of activities will resonate
I love
with
it.
you, what kind of outlets will work for you.
Wow. So it's just really having a moment with yourself and knowing what will work
Mm.
for you. Ah, that's beautiful. That's being at peace. Right? Is there anything that you wish you knew a long time ago regarding with me that we haven't talked
Regarding,
about, or something that you would have appreciated sooner?
hmm. Wow, that's actually a really good question. I Maybe, if anything, I wish I had been more appreciative before, more grateful. Because one of the things that I kind of sort of one of the lines that I've sort of been living by nowadays is, and I don't know if you've heard of this, is the more you focus on the good, the more good comes into your life. And ever
Wow.
since I've heard
Wow.
that line, I've always just tried to see the good in basically
Yes.
everything and everyone. And I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes, even if it's just like the teeny tiniest tinge of good, for me, that's good enough.
Yeah.
As long as I manage to
Everything
see
falls into place.
something good. And I think that's something that I really, really lacked before. A few years ago, I wasn't very
Okay.
how should I say this? I wasn't very aware, I guess, or I wasn't very particular about
Okay.
all the good things that I apparently my life was surrounded with. And it wasn't until a few years after that I sort of got that wake up call that I actually have way more than I could ask for and way more than I deserve. And I think
Wow.
that just completely shifted everything
Wow.
for me in terms of like my perspective,
It's
my
just, it's
choices.
so,
Yeah, sorry, you were saying?
I mean, that's so interesting that you had that transformative moment. What made it that way? And I mean, I wouldn't say you weren't happy
Mm-hmm.
before, but of course you're happier now, being more appreciative and more at peace. But what triggers that transformative
I think
situation?
I think for me it's
What made you realize, basically?
I guess I would have to say it came from getting to know a lot of other people and hearing their stories. Really, it's the stories of these people that I've met that are, I guess, in some ways a bit more different than me in terms of,
Yes.
their struggles or whatever it is that they're going through in life. Actually, what's
Wow.
interesting about these people is that you kind of realize through their stories and their narratives that when you hear them, it makes you feel like, oh, that's good to know I am not alone. But at the same time, you kind of realize that, wow, that is too much. And man, my life is really, there's so much to be grateful for compared to this person. Not to
Wow.
say that I am better, or my life is better, or my life is on a pedestal, but there's certain stories
Yes.
that'll come to you like a wake up call, I guess, and it'll just snap you out of this world, out of this sort of narcissistic world that you're in, and just make
Yes.
you realize that,
Yes.
like, whoa, you really have nothing to complain about in your life, and that you are living a life that, I don't know, I guess other people would dream of or could only imagine. So yeah, I think
Wow.
that's also one of the things I remind myself each day, really. It's like when I find these little moments, I would just be like, oh, Uriel, you have nothing to complain about. Like, wake up, girl. So yeah.
I
Like,
love
no,
that.
no. There's so much to be grateful for. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Also, I just wanted to add actually
Wow.
that I think
Y-
when you find yourself at peace, like when you get to that place of like just genuine peace, this sense of like of wanting that peace for others will come naturally to you as well.
Wow. Wow.
So it's something that once you felt it, it's actually something that you feel like you'd want to share to those around you, or something you want
Wow.
to give to them. And that's when I guess you could say, the saying applies that you give what you receive, because this, when you've experienced that state, it's not something that you just want to go through alone. I feel like it's something that you'd want to share to the people around you, whether you know them or not, whether you're in good terms with them or not. It's something that you will genuinely just wish you could grant everyone, if you could. And I guess, and with that, like, you will find these little ways of just wanting to give back or wanting to contribute
To
to,
contribute.
to that peace or to that energy. I don't know if you remember, but like a few months ago, you actually invited me to go on this outreach in Taal.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's
Yes.
really interesting because I don't know if I shared this with you, but during the
Go on.
start of the year, because my family and I, so like every New Year's Eve, how most
Yeah.
people would share their New Year's resolutions and like their plans for the coming year.
Yeah.
And one of the things I really genuinely asked for was more opportunities for charity and service, more opportunities to give back. And I was just
Wow.
really amazed that, like a few months after, there you were with that invitation. And it really just like, wow, the manifestation of, what I asked for
It's
exactly.
fast.
But I remember going back to that New Year's Eve, I was just in such a state of peace and gratitude that I just felt like, oh, I just want to give back to the universe, like for allowing me to feel this, for allowing me to be here, for allowing me to be the person that I am. I want to do something outward now, out of all after all of that inward action, that process,
Yes.
and that journey, you will get to a point where you just feel like, okay, I have reached this point of peace, and I am
You're
overflowing, and I am
overflowing.
overwhelmed, and I just want to let it out. I want to give back. I want to contribute. And so yeah, and then a few months after, like I
Yes.
said, we were in Taal, and it was such a heartwarming experience. Getting to know those people, getting to hear their stories, being
Yeah.
able to brighten up their days. You with
Yeah.
your magic show, it was such a lovely day.
Thank you.
Really,
Thank
really.
you.
Up until now, I'm still very grateful that your mom and your mom invited me to go on that trip with you. So.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. And I really loved what you said about once you reach that point of inward journey, you'll get to the point of sharing it. You'll get the need to really spread it. Because I was going to ask you a question that might could have been a bit of a problem in my idea, that you said you had this narcissistic world. A person will get to live in his narcissistic bubble. What if this journey inwards to her own inward peace ends up to a delusioned piece of narcissism pa rin? But that's still narcissism. How will you know if it's the legitimate? And I think you answered it already, that when you reach this certain peaceful state, boy, you just want to share it. And I think that's the pushing factor being elicited in anything else. And it's so beautiful that you said all of
Yeah,
those.
because I think, well, just going back to your question about the delusional narcissistic, um, because I think if
Peace.
you were stuck in that state of, the fake peace, you wouldn't really find it in yourself to think of others. You wouldn't really find it in yourself to want to share, or to want to, like I said, like we've been saying, contribute or give back, because you are in that state
Yes.
of just focusing on yourself. And I don't know if some people find peace in being in that state of just being inward all of the time, but I just think that when it's something that is a feeling as wonderful as being at peace, it's something that you'll just, and not even just being at peace. I think any wonderful feeling, whatever it is that you are going through, it's always going to be something that you are going to want to share with the people around you.
Wow. Wow. And that's wow. Thank you
Oh,
for
thank
that.
you for allowing me to share. I actually honestly don't even know where these words are coming from.
I mean, everything's so great. I am amazed. Thank you. It went so well.
Words are just flowing out of my mouth.
So I think yeah, you're literally making ripples
Oh.
with words. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being
Well,
part of the
thank you.
podcast. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Hmm.
I,
Well, I think we've pretty much covered everything, unless you have more questions or anything else you would like to tackle.
I think we covered that. Being at peace. We got to going to peace, the journey to being at peace, the external factors, and then what exactly is peace. And everything was just beautiful. It's your own personal moment that you will really be choosing to,
Yes, yes.
right? Oh, there, here. You'll get to a point of peace, but of course, it's easier said than done. Sometimes it's difficult to
Mm-hmm.
maintain it,
Yes.
right? Sometimes you'll be tempted to get to somehow move a
Mm-hmm.
step back from it, and that's also interesting.
Yeah. Um.
No matter how high that state is, something pulls you down.
Well. Well, I don't know if you've seen the film Jojo Rabbit, but there's actually this really good.
Not yet.
There's a quote at the end of the film that I really loved, and it really it stuck with me. Even now, there are some days when I think back to that line. It goes something like, wait, let me search for it. I don't memorize the entire quote, but it's something. It's
You
something.
should.
Oh,
I should.
okay,
I
wait.
should
I
catch
found
that movie.
um, let
Oh,
everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final. And and I
wow.
think that's something that once you've learned to live or to accept the fact that no feeling is final, and there are things that are really going to be beyond our control. Um, you will
Wow.
you will eventually learn to find peace. But like you've been saying, it is a roller coaster ride. There are ups and downs. But during the down days or the down times, I think it's just important that we remind ourselves that okay, we are here, we've hit rock bottom, but this won't last forever. No feeling is final. You acknowledge that okay, this is a setback, but you're certain that you will bounce back. And just holding on
That.
to that reminder, telling
Wow.
yourself that it's
Yes.
okay, I'm here, I'm sad, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, I'm having a bad day. But not all days are going to be bad days. There are going to be good days. There are going to be amazing, wonderful days. And there are going to be like really, really, are we allowed to curse? Toot days.
Yeah.
I censored myself.
I did. I
I
didn't check the
censored
explicit
myself.
content, so I love that.
But yeah,
Yeah.
like no,
Wow.
let's say for me personally, and I guess I don't know if you can relate, but as artists, there are days,
Yes.
most days when I'm filled with doubt about whether it be my career choice
Yeah.
or my skills, my talent. Am
Yeah.
I am I putting myself
Yeah.
out there enough? Is my skill level enough? Do I know enough to be able to actually compete with other professional artists in the industry? There are so many factors and issues and comment statements. Sometimes they can even be comments from your family, comments from your friends, all these external factors and even internal factors just coming at you all at once. And I think like I said, you always just need to remind yourself that, okay, this is a bad day, but not all days are going to be bad days. And it still really stems from knowing yourself. And if you know in yourself that you are a hardworking person, you are passionate, you might not be perfect, you might not be the best, but you love what you do and you practice and you work on your craft, then I think that already negates the fact that that you feel that you should think of yourself as someone less or as someone who isn't worthy.
Wow.
So as long as you know yourself and you know your worth and you know the kind of person that you are, then there shouldn't be any any problem, really. Of course, this is easier said than done because I know all of us, we always have those days,
Yes.
we always have those moments. And don't get me wrong, even I have moments where it's just my anxiety, it gets so bad that sometimes even just getting out of bed and starting my day is a struggle in itself.
Yes.
But I think for me, what I tell myself is that, if you don't get out of bed, Uriel, the negative energy, the negative thoughts, they win. And I know, and I'm a competitive person, so I'm just like, I will not let you, and so I get up, and even if it's really hard, even if it's a struggle for me, I still find ways to get through my day or to at least do something, to live my day.
Wow. And that simple act of simply choosing to get up, it feels so
Exactly.
empowering, isn't it? Especially if you if you start your day right and you actually chose to start it right, despite the fact that you really were heavy. It has like a rewarding feeling when you do it.
Yeah, because I guess it also it reminds you as well that these thoughts, you aren't always your thoughts, and sometimes these thoughts, they're not even like rational thoughts, they're just whatever it is that you want to think of. And what's worse is that these are fictional irrational thoughts that you allow to consume you. But why would you? Why should you?
Wow.
If it's not serving you, if it's not
Exactly.
a healthy presence for you, why would you want to dwell on that? Why would you want to allow yourself to stay in that state? So I guess like we've been talking about earlier, it also really is a conscious choice. And you really, I don't know, maybe for some people it'll really help to find ways to occupy yourself with other things that'll take your mind off of it, and things that will help improve you, help make you a better person. I find that's one of the best ways to really combat negative thoughts and negative energies. It's just to find ways to occupy yourself, find ways to channel, like I've been talking about earlier, channel that energy into something positive, something that will help improve you or help make you a better person. So yeah.
Thank you for that. I couldn't agree more. Thank you for your insights.
What about, I've been meaning to ask you, what about you? What are your thoughts on peace?
Hey.
Is this not a conversation? Are we not going to be discussing the flavors of both our lives?
To be fair, yeah. Well, I do agree with most of what you've said already. It is an individual moment, isn't it? And that's something that's beautiful. And I find it very validating that everyone can achieve that peace. Everyone can get there. And it's also okay to be pulled down as long as you get back up again. As long as you choose to wake up in the morning again and really choose to. It's just at the end of the day, it's a matter of choice that is difficult.
Oh, definitely.
Easier said than done, but when you finally do it, everything just falls into place, like what you said.
Exactly.
Like what you said. And that's
and I
beautiful.
think it really also just stems from. Oh,
And it's funny. I'm sure the background is getting noisy.
Are those dogs?
See, this is an example of that. How you're going to get over this, right? Just look at it in a different perspective.
Exactly. Were those dogs?
Yeah, I've got howling, I've got barking, I've got fighting.
Is that hey, now we have free sound effects.
Exactly, and really demonstrating what we're talking about. These are the external
things
factors
that are beyond our control,
and this is the
things
choice
that we have to learn to live with.
Exactly, and just and be at peace with it. Wow, who knew it would actually work? The barking would actually work. Who knew?
Exactly.
See, and now we're laughing at it. I was getting a bit irritated, and now it works. I was getting a bit. Just when we were getting to the good stuff, it couldn't have waited a few more minutes.
Start barking.
Everything erupted
At that moment.
They just had to start barking at that moment. Isn't that? That's beautiful. That's life, yeah? That's life. It's unexpected. It throws you barking dogs all of a sudden. Throws you a mic that will malfunction all of a sudden. But then
you roll with the
that's
punches.
A flavor of life.
Exactly.
Savor
flavor
it.
Of life.
Yes. Savor it, right? And then, as what you said, which was so beautiful, let it pass. Swallow it, digest it, enjoy the meal. Well,
no,
thank you. Thank you.
I actually really enjoyed this podcast. I mean, going into it, I had nothing prepared at all. I mean, not that I was unprepared, but it was more of just like, okay, let's see how this will go. I'm gonna go with the flow, and I'm actually really grateful that it was very, I don't know, even for me, it was very reflective, and I guess you could say insightful. And in some ways, I also got to know myself better. And hopefully, I don't know, the listeners will be able to learn and get to know themselves better as well.
Yeah. I'm sure with the listeners, this part is going to be challenging with the peace and the barking. But it is true what you said. Getting to know oneself more. And our conversation really highlighted that. And it's just this was a beautiful episode. Thank you. What a way to start. What a way for setting the standards.
To more wonderful episodes.
Yeah.
In store for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing
Thank
me
you,
to be
thank
part
you,
of it.
thank you. Thank you so much. So I guess that's that. Thank you for listening to our podcast.
Thank you for the barking.
Thank you for the barking dogs. And just remember
Yes.
to be at peace and make ripples with your words.
Yes.
And enjoy the flavors of life.
Nothing. Just
Anything
thank
else
you.
you'd like to
Thank
say?
you. Good thoughts, good intentions for everyone.
All
And
right.
thank you for you, Ivan. I'm grateful for you.
Thank you for you, Uriel. We're grateful for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe there's a topic that you want us to talk about, so please let us know by tagging us on Facebook or Instagram by using the hashtag RipplesWithWords. And give us a follow on Jonathan Ivan Rivera on Instagram and Facebook. So once again, just use the hashtag RipplesWithWords and let's talk about that flavor of life that you want.